Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 12 of Perfect Album Sides. This is the show we're doing each and every day throughout the month of May, where we are picking what we feel is a absolutely perfect album side from a classic album, or maybe not an album that some people think of as classics, but the songs that we're picking on these album sides. Again, we're looking at basically albums, which is the recorded work, were released on vinyl or maybe cassette where you had side delineations, right? Single albums, side A, side B, side 1, side 2, double albums, C and D, all that sort of thing. But the thing is, we feel that every song on this particular side is a 5 out of 5 star classic, right? The caveat is, has to be 2 or more songs on the side. So stuff like 2112 and Thick as a Brick and Close to the Edge and any of these, old Autarchus, right? Whereas you had one track making up an entire side. Those are not in the running. So it's got to be at least 2 songs, right? So this particular album, my choice for today, was released, November 15th, 1971 for the Capitol label, produced by Terry Knight, who also was their manager. Talking about the 5th album from Grand Funk Railroad, E Pluribus Funk, people. I have been promoting the greatness of this album to anybody who would listen for 25 years, right? Or at least. And this is a band who were, when I was a kid, by the time I really heavily started to get into music, they were, which is probably like the mid 70s or so. Grand Funk was in that kind of second phase, right? So here we're just a little bit past it, where you already had We're an American Band and Shining On, and all of a sudden their popularity starting to wane a little bit. And obviously I was a really little kid when they were at the when they were one of the biggest bands in America that the critics hated, but the kids loved. And that was like the late 60s, early 70s. So I was still a little bit too young. But, we're an American Band and, the Locomotion and all that, all that sort of stuff. Those were hits when I was really starting to listen to music, right? But, looking back now, all these years later, I really love pretty much the entire Grand Funk Railroad catalog. And this album has always been, if it's not my favorite, it's my second favorite. It's a great, great album. Though not, filled with some of, many of their hits, right? But I think that's what's so great about it. You did have, so side A is what we're choosing here, right? Side A is my perfect album side for this particular album. And probably the most famous, again, it wasn't a huge hit, but it was a minor hit. Foot Stompin' Music is the song that kicks off the album, and that is a load of fun. You got Mel's bass line, right? And then you got Mark's organ, Hammond organ. It's so infectious. It's just this great, upbeat, funky, soulful rocker, right? That's mostly like bass, drums, and organ. But then in the middle of the song, Mark kicks into the guitar and throws in a vicious solo. Such a great song. It's one of my favorite Grand Funk Railroad songs. It's just so good. And then you got track 2, which is People, Let's Stop the War. And again, you got Mel's boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, 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 boom. And then you get these crazy, infectious wah-wah guitar licks from Mark Farner. You got Don laying down the groove on the drums. People, Let's Stop the War is just a great, and again, a lot of their lyrics had to do with what was happening at the time, which is, young people against, the Vietnam War and everything that was the crazy stuff that was going on at the time. So I think that's why critics really did not like them much, because they were a people's band. What they were singing about is what the people were thinking, right? And People, Let's Stop the War is a great, great hard rock song from them. Love it. Then you got another great up-tempo, hook-laden hard rock song, Upsetter, which has just such a great chorus, got a great guitar riff. It's heavy, but it's, the early Grand Funk Railroad stuff is heavy, groove-laden music, but they didn't come out, this is not like the big wall of riffage like a Sabbath or early Purple or Zeppelin, right? Not a lot of big fuzz and distortion on the riffs, but the songs themselves are so raw, energetic, and aggressive. That's what makes this early Grand Funk catalog pretty heavy, even though on the surface, you're not going to mistake them for Blue Cheer or Black Sabbath, right? But the nature of the songs, they're so aggressive that it's very, very similar in a weird way. Upsetter, another great song. And then the side ends with another of my favorite Grand Funk Railroad songs, I Come Tumbling. Just some killer guitar licks from Mark Farner. I mean, the guy was, at the time, a lot of people were like, but he's kind of like a very simple guitar player and all that. But I always love his really raw style of guitar. Not everybody needs to be a crazy technician. I think sometimes just a little bit of soul and emotion and a lot of fire, because he certainly had the fire and the energy. It's a great frontman, great vocalist, very good guitar player, very underrated, I always thought. But he was just perfect for this band. Sometimes that's okay. And I Come Tumbling is just a terrific rockin' song. I mean, this whole side one, and side two or side B is pretty damn good too, but it does not beat side one, which, foot stomping music, People Let's Stop the War, Upsetter, and I Come Tumbling. I'm telling you, if we have people watching this show here today that have not listened to E Pluribus Funk, go listen to side one, listen to those 4 tracks. So good. So good. I mean, Grand Funk Railroad for me, this is like, come on, people, time to freaking party, right? I mean, this is just good up-tempo, like I said, soulful, groove-laden, hard rock music circa 1971. That's what it is. So that is my pick for today. Side A or side 1 of E Pluribus Funk from 1971, Grand Funk Railroad. Let us know what you think of this album down below, as well as your pick for day 12 here of Perfect Album Sides. That's what we're doing each and every day during the month. Stay tuned. We've got some other folks helping us out. You've got, let's see, who's come up. We got Craig Kaminsky's joining me for an episode. We got Armando Venditti joining me for some stuff. We got Steve Fleck coming back. We'll probably see a couple other people here and there join throughout the rest of the month. You'll see some of me solo as well. And so far, the comments and feedback and the reactions to the series has been outstanding. Everybody seems to love this, so I guarantee you we will be doing this again. I don't know if we'll do it next month, do 2 months in a row. We may not, because I have something else I want to do at some point this summer, but that could be done in July or August, I think. So will we do month 2 of Perfect Album Sides in June? That's quite possible, because I've been digging this, and it's really interesting. So a couple people pointed out something very cool, I think, is that one of the great things about doing a show like this is it really makes you think about what is a perfect album side, and you really have to think hard. And there have been lots of albums that I've been looking at that I would have thought would have been, I would have picked for this series, but then I'm like, yeah, you know what, this is a classic album. I love this album to death, but man, that one song on that side, not quite a 5-star classic. I really like it a lot, maybe even love it a lot, but it's not quite, right? So I've had to turn some albums away because they've had one song that's maybe not quite up to that plateau that we're trying to get here. Again, here, every song on that side we have to love with everything in us, and to us it's a 5-star, 5 out of 5-star classic. That's what I'm going for. So you're going to you'll see some low-hanging fruit. You've seen a couple of them already this month, but I'm trying to go for albums that have all the qualifications. We may not look at them as the absolute legendary albums in the discography of some of these bands, but it's a perfect album side. We love every single song that's on it so much that we have to consider it. So that's kind of what we're going for. So it's fun. It's fun. I'm going through. I've listed like a lot of these bands that I know should qualify, and then I'm going through the discographies, and I'm like, I thought it would be that. No, can't pick it. But this one, I wasn't thinking about that one, but you know what? That's my album side, right? So for Grand Funk, I thought another album was going to have my perfect album side. You know what? In the end, Didn't quite cut the mustard. This one, however, does. Side A. E pluribus fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. Check us out and like us on Facebook, but come back here each and every day and join us all together on YouTube channel. We got the link below to our Ko-Fi page, the link below to our merch page, and please hit that notification bell and subscribe so you get notified of all of our content. You don't miss a damn thing. So I am Pete Pardo. Stay tuned for more stuff here on the channel, but tune in tomorrow morning once again for another Perfect Album Side. Till then, have a good one. See you soon. Bye-bye.